Welcome back, everyone, to Raven Television. Well, with COVID restrictions constantly changing, we've had to adapt over and over again here at Eastside, but we're here to bring you another show. And we've got some new segments for you today. Tanner, would you mind telling us what segments we have?
This month, our segments are boys basketball and behind the scenes of digital media and recording live streams.
I found it was quite hard to switch from an octomester to a quadmester. Having now 2 classes a day instead of the 1, it becomes harder to focus, especially if you have 2 different classes. Whereas right now I have a double credit co-op, so I'm in the same place all day. It's much easier. I prefer that kind of an atmosphere. I feel like when it's something like that, you definitely have to be flexible. If it's something like sports, there's always going to be the athletes that then either have to get back in shape from being out of shape for a while or get back into practice, get used to their team again. Like, it's always just going to be constant changing and moving, and that's just what we've had to become since COVID started. It's easier for the parents. I know that there are a lot of parents out there that haven't been able to attend their kids' games since COVID started. It's easier that then they can see their kid play and they can talk about it with them, whereas before it was just asking questions and they didn't know what they were talking about. Typically, we have a bigger camera, a backup camera for recording in case the live stream doesn't work. We have a computer to do all of our graphics, the scoreboard, our little plugs for SHSM program, everything like that. And typically it can be stressful as anything when it comes to digital media, but we always get through it. We have a planned alphabet, as I like to say. So the SHSM program is a specialty high skill major program. It's you can major in one of 3 fields currently. We have digital media, sports academy, and construction. It will give you a stamp on your diploma saying that you have put in the time and effort towards that field and you know what you're talking about and you know what you're doing. Well, I don't know much about the other programs, but when it comes to digital media, I know that we have programs like you just mentioned about going to a workshop with the Quinte Mall and then going to a Senators game, but we also have things like a first aid course. Some have the working with heights, different courses like that. I've learned to do the live streams. Last night I did my first one. I have learned more about the different computer programs that we use, Adobe Creative Cloud. I hadn't used anything but Photoshop when I started in the SHSM program. And I've learned more about how the way different classes run. I had never taken a class but photography and digital media. I was at a local hair salon that just opened in July. I was doing a co-op there, and I walked in and they told me that they had just started up. They didn't have a website. Their social media was something that they barely tended to. It was a new mother, and a woman who did not know how to work technology, and they told me they needed a website. So I went and I looked into it, and I made them up a website. They were very happy with the website. They had everything they needed on it. Anything that they didn't want, they could take off, like their online booking. They didn't want that on, so I figured out how to take that off. And they were very happy with it. They even said that I might not have to pay for a haircut again. I think when it's something like the SHSM program, it's definitely worth it, especially if you're focused in that area, such as construction, digital media, and sports. If you're definitely into something, I'd say take it. Don't just have that on your credit list, but get into it more. I think clubs and things like that are great. You get to meet new people, friends that you're going to have for a while. So for me, I think it's a really good experience to join a club like that.
First of all, I was worried that I couldn't come here because of the restrictions, but before I came here, some of them were already lifted, so I could take my flight as planned, and while I'm here now, some other restrictions have been lifted, so that's great. So communication technology in general is about how you can get a message from one person to another or maybe a crowd of people. And we started with radio editing and did a commercial for that. Right now we're working on video editing and making a movie. Outside of the classroom, I helped with a live stream for the basketball game, and today there will be 2 other basketball games, and I did some of the directing. One of the problems was that we couldn't really connect our big camera. Well, we could connect it, but we didn't get it connected to the software. So instead of the big camera, after troubleshooting for some hours, we went on with a webcam, and that worked out fine. I think that's a really great feeling because I was able to show my work to my family at home, and they were really glad to see it because I'm far away. And I also think that many other people who can't watch their children or grandchildren at their games because of the COVID restrictions will feel happy to see them on a live stream. I'm really looking forward to it because I haven't gotten the chance to go to Toronto yet. So I'm looking forward to the break when we can go shopping. I also look forward to talking to people from the industry and listening to them about their careers. And of course, the game will be great to watch. For now, I'm fine with helping with the live streams, but maybe I'll change my mind. I'm hoping to see the Niagara Falls and maybe a lot of the nature as much as possible, even in the north. Here is much more freedom in the courses. First of all, you can choose your courses more directly than in Germany. And also within the courses, there's a lot of freedom to explore yourself and be as good as you possibly can be, test out your limits. I really miss German bread because here the bread tastes much more sweet and it doesn't have as much of corn in it. But what I really like is the fast food. It's very cold here and we get a lot of snow days. This quadmester there have been already 4, I think. But otherwise the weather is fine and I enjoy the snow. I want to tell everyone that it's absolutely worth to travel to new places because you get so many opportunities you wouldn't have gotten if you stayed home, and you met a lot of new and amazing people.
My role here is as a student supervision monitor, and I am the assistant coach of the senior boys basketball and help out with the juniors as well. Well, some of the challenges that we faced this year has been a lot of stop and go. When the season started, we were very excited to get it going, and then unfortunately the numbers went up and we had to stop. So for a while, and now we're starting to, back to playing as well. The challenge has been just being focused and staying in shape, and a lot of the kids had a harder time to getting back into shape and playing basketball. Oh, well, it'd be doing any activity outdoors or indoors. If you could find a place you can run, maybe find a gym that you could work out and do some physical activity, that would help. I think the endurance. It was a big one, and I think socializing as well, because of the layoff and being the time away from school and time away from playing basketball and having fun. I think the kids really missed that, and we're glad that we got it back now. We've had some regular season games, not a lot, but we've had some games, which is better than nothing. But this week we've played already once, and looking forward next week we play again, and we have a tournament this weekend in Kingston. So we're trying to get a lot more games, any more games that we can actually get into, so that the team feels like they've had an actually successful season. We don't know what Bay of Quinte will look like because of the changes that have happened, but we're glad that the league stepped in and made it into a 2 kind of Part A, Part B kind of league, and whoever wins in the A will obviously face the B. But who's going to be there at the end, we're not sure yet, but we'll hope that we'll be one of the teams at the end. You could just, what it looks like is that certain teams that you usually play in a regular season Like Nicholson will be one of the teams that will be facing. All the teams in Bay Quinte, we would usually in a regular season will play once at least. But this season, because of all this, numerous stoppages and obviously with the COVID, they've decided to just kind of divided the league into two. So 4 teams in one team and four other 4 teams on the other league. We've actually played 3. I'm not sure if they're counting before, but we've played against Centennial and Picton so far, and Madoc. And the team is actually each game gotten better, and we're so excited about our chances to winning the Bay Quinte Championship. Right now, the team is playing with high confidence, and they've come through some tough times in one of these games, and were able to come out victorious. So after this weekend, playing with top teams in Kingston area and Smith Falls, I think that would only help them to go further. I would say mental toughness. This group of young men that we had this year, the privilege to coach in, have shown us resiliency and mental toughness when they were faced with tougher times. For example, like the Centennial game, we were up big time with 14, 15 point lead, and somehow the Centennial team came back and brought that points into like 4 points, so advantage for us with 4 minutes to go, and our team was able to take that lead 4 point, and then ended up winning by 19. So that just showed us that how much this team is tough and resilient and can come through in tough times. I think we can improve on our defense, and that is the only, I think, thing that could help us. So we're playing good defense right now, holding teams very low numbers, but if we continue to improve on that area, and I think we would definitely win the Bay Quinte Championship. Ben Ojara is our head coach. He's a community, and he's a guy who's got a lot of knowledge of basketball, also a friend of mine. Yes, what he brings to the table is a lot of knowledge and skills, and all we want to do is help these kids achieve their goal, which is winning championships. I think it's coming into high school, it is very important to get involved in sports or art or whatever, drama, music, whatever you can get into, because I think in the long run, you have 4 years of your life that you're spending in high school, and if you get into any of these, sports or athletics or music or drama, will give you a chance to make friends, make your 4 years here a lot more enjoyable. And when you look back and you graduate, you realize that you had a great time in high school, and what a great time, memories to have as you get older.
And we would like to thank you once again for joining us here at Raven Television on Your TV Kojiko. We hope that everyone has a good month, and in the future we hope that these COVID restrictions will finally come to an end. Thank you.